In a surprising turn of events, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has announced that Fort Liberty in North Carolina will revert to its former name, Fort Bragg. But here's the twist, it's not honoring the same Bragg as before. Is this a victory for those who served at Fort Bragg and hated the name change? Or is this just a troll by the new Defense Secretary? Stay with us as we unravel this intriguing story and explore the legacies behind both namesakes. Established in 1918, Fort Bragg was originally named after General Braxton Bragg, a Confederate officer from Warrenton, North Carolina. Bragg graduated from West Point in 1837 and served with distinction in the Mexican-American War. However, his tenure as a Confederate general during the Civil War was fraught with controversy and failure. At the Battle of Shiloh in 1862, Bragg ordered several costly and unsuccessful frontal assaults, resulting in significant Confederate casualties. Later that year, during the Confederate Heartland Offensive, his invasion of Kentucky ended in strategic failure, forcing a retreat and failing to secure Kentucky for the Confederacy. Perhaps most notably, at the Battle of Chickamauga in 1863, despite achieving a tactical victory, Bragg failed to capitalize on the success, allowing Union forces to retreat and regroup. His inability to effectively lead and his contentious relationships with subordinates led to his resignation from field command after the defeat at Chattanooga in November 1863. One wonders, did the U.S. military name the fort after him because his failures contributed to the Union victory? Many have criticized monuments and statues that honor Confederate leaders over the years, but the death of George Floyd tipped the scales. In the wake of nationwide protests and a re-evaluation of Confederate symbols, Congress passed legislation in 2021 prohibiting the naming of military installations after Confederate figures. It was accomplished with a simple vote and served as a powerful offering to a growing movement in our country. This led to the renaming of several bases, including Fort Bragg, which was changed to Fort Liberty in 2023. The decision was met with mixed reactions. Supporters viewed it as a necessary step toward inclusivity and moving away from a divisive past, while critics argued it erased history and overlooked the base's long-standing identity. General Bragg was never very popular, but Fort Bragg was an institution that loomed large in the mind of many of our servicemen and women. To many it had little association with a Confederate general, but was an important part of their lives. The soldiers, however, didn't get a say in the name change. So, Fort Liberty it was, until Secretary Hegseth found a loophole so wide you could drive a tank through it. In a move that navigates the legislative restrictions, Secretary Hegseth has announced that Fort Liberty will once again be known as Fort Bragg, but this time in honor of Private First Class Roland L. Bragg, a distinguished World War II hero. Born in Sabattis, Maine in 1923, Private First Class Bragg enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1943 and served with the 513th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 17th Airborne Division. During the Battle of the Bulge, Bragg displayed exceptional courage. Amidst the chaos of battle, he commandeered a German ambulance under enemy fire to evacuate a wounded comrade to an Allied hospital, saving the soldier's life. For his gallantry, Private First Class Bragg was awarded the Silver Star and the Purple Heart. This renaming strategy has sparked a debate. On one hand, it honors a deserving hero and restores a familiar name to the base. On the other, some question whether this approach sidesteps the intent of the legislation, and whether it appropriately addresses the complex history associated with the original namesake. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this development. Do you believe renaming the base after Private First Class Roland L. Bragg is the right move? Share your opinions in the comments below. If you found this discussion insightful, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Veteran Spot for more content that delves into the stories and news that matter to America's veterans.